Hello, and welcome to my channel. In this tutorial, we'll create a simple windy grass setup in Blender using geometry nodes. Let's get started. First, let's create a simple environment using the Landscape add-on. To install it, go to the Edit menu and open Preferences. Then click the Get Extensions tab and search for Landscape. Install the add-on called A.N.T Landscape. After that, press Shift-A, go to Mesh and choose Landscape. This quickly generates a natural terrain. First, open the Operator Preset menu and select Lake 1. This quickly creates a terrain with a lake shape. Next, set the offset X value to 0.3. Finally, increase the displacement amount slightly to make the terrain more bumpy. As you can see, the scene now contains land and a lake. Select these objects, press S, and scale them up slightly. Then press Ctrl-A and apply the scale transform. Now, let's add geometry nodes to the land. Hide the lake mesh by clicking the eye icon in the Outliner editor. Then switch the timeline area to the Geometry Nodes editor. Select the land object and click New to add a geometry node setup. In the Geometry Nodes editor, press Shift-A and add a Distribute Points on Faces node. Place it between the Group Input and Group Output nodes. This node distributes points across the surface of the mesh. Changing the density value controls how many points are created. As you can see, the land under the instances is no longer visible. To bring it back, add a Join Geometry node. Place it after the Distribute Points on Faces node and connect the geometry from the group input to it. Now the land will appear again, together with the instances. Next, we'll replace these instances with grass. Add an instance on Points node after the Distribute Points on Faces node. The instances disappear because we haven't connected any geometry to the instance input yet. First, let's create a simple grass model. Press Shift-A and add a plane. Move the plane along the X-axis, then press Tab to enter Edit mode. Press S, then X, and scale the plane along the X-axis to make it thinner. Next, press Ctrl-R and add 3 loop cuts. Then shape the geometry so it looks like a single grass blade. Now let's move the origin point to the bottom of the grass blade. In Edit mode, select the bottom edge, press Shift-S and choose Cursor to Selected. Then press Tab to return to Object mode, right-click, choose Set Origin, and select Origin to 3D Cursor. Press R, then X, and rotate the blade 90 degrees along the X-axis. Since the pivot point is now at the bottom, the geometry rotates and scales around this point. In Edit mode, you can shape the blade further by selecting and moving the edges. Press Shift-D to duplicate the blade and rotate it slightly. This way, you can form a small grass bunch with a bit of randomness. Scale some of the blades down to create variation. When you're done, select all grass blades and press Ctrl-J to join them together. Make sure the origin is still at the bottom so the grass instances are placed correctly on the surface. Finally, right-click and choose Shade Smooth. Now, let's use this grass bunch as an instance. First, rename the object to Grass in the Outliner. Then select the land object. Drag the grass object from the outliner into the Geometry Nodes editor. This creates an Object Info node. Connect the geometry output to the instance input of the Instance on Points node. Now the grass appears across the surface. However, the grass rotation is incorrect because we haven't applied the transforms. Select the grass object, press Ctrl-A, and choose Apply Rotation and Scale. The grass may look too large, so reduce the scale value in the Instance on Points node. Adjust the X, Y, and Z values together to keep the proportions the same. To add variation, connect a random value node to the scale input. Then adjust the minimum and maximum values so some grass bunches are smaller and others are larger. Another issue is that the grass instances are not aligned with the surface normals. To fix this, add a sample nearest surface node and switch the type to vector. The source mesh will be the land, so connect the land geometry to the mesh input. Next, add a normal node and connect it to the value input. Plug the value node into the rotation node, but it is still not aligned correctly. Then connect this output to an align Euler to vector node. Plug the value node into the vector node. Set the axis to Z so the grass aligns with the surface normal. Now the grass instances correctly follow the terrain. You can also expose the density value as a parameter. Connect the density input to the group input node so it appears in the modifier panel. This allows you to control the grass density directly from the modifier settings. As you can see, the grass is spread across the entire surface. However, the lower area is the bottom of the lake, so we don't want grass there. First, set the density value to 0 to make the viewport easier to work with. Then, switch to weight paint mode. Now you can paint the land surface. The weight value controls the colors. Red areas will have the highest density, yellow and green areas will have less density, and blue areas will have no grass. This means we are assigning weight values to each vertex on the land mesh. Open the Object Data Properties tab and look at the Vertex Groups section. Rename the vertex group to Grass Density. Now we can use this attribute inside the grass modifier. Go to the Modifier tab. Next to the density value there is a small toggle. Enable it and choose the grass density attribute from the list. Add a math node between the group input and the density input and set the operation to multiply. Now the painted areas control the grass distribution. Red areas have dense grass, yellow areas have less grass, and blue areas have none. Set the brush strength to 1 and paint the terrain. Make the lake visible again and paint the entire land surface except the lake area. Now let's add a wind effect to the grass. We will rotate each grass instance slightly to simulate wind. Add a Rotate Instances node and place it right after the Instance on Points node. This node allows us to rotate each instance along the X, Y, or Z axis. Here we'll use the local X axis. Add a Combine XYZ node and use it to isolate the X axis. Then connect it to the rotation input of the Rotate Instances node. Next, add a Map Range node to limit the rotation amount. Connect the result output to the X-axis input. Set the to-min value to -1. Now, when the value changes between 0 and 1, the grass bends slightly but does not rotate too far downward. To animate this movement, connect the value input to a wave texture node. This creates a wave pattern that controls the rotation. Set the wave texture to bands and change the band's direction to Y. Then set the scale value to 0.5. This creates a wave pattern across the surface, so the grass bends differently in different areas. Increase the distortion value slightly to add randomness and make the motion look more natural. Now we can make the wave move across the surface. Add a vector math node set to add and connect it to the vector input of the wave texture. Connect a position node to the first input of the vector math node. The position node provides the location of each point in the geometry. Then change the y value of the second vector. This shifts the wave pattern along the y-axis and makes the wind move across the grass. Next, let's automate this movement using a driver. In the y value field, type sharp frame. The value will turn purple, which means a driver has been added. Press spacebar to play the animation, and you will see the movement happen automatically. The driver uses the current frame number of the timeline as its input. As the frame number increases, the value also increases, which continuously shifts the wave pattern. If the wind moves too fast, you can slow it down by typing sharp frame divided by 20. This divides the frame value and makes the motion slower. You can also adjust the scale value of the wave texture to change the frequency of the waves. Now let's add materials to the scene. Press Z and switch to Render Preview. In the Render Properties, switch to Eevee for faster rendering and enable ray tracing. First, add an HDRI environment texture for lighting. Go to the World Properties, click the color input, and load an HDRI image. You can download HDRI images for free online. To enable shadows, open the Settings panel in the World Properties and turn on Shadow. Now switch the Geometry Nodes editor to the Shader editor and select the grass object. Click New to create a material. In the principled shader, you can choose a simple green color. However, we can create a more interesting look. Add a color ramp node and press the plus icon to add another color stop. This allows us to create a gradient from dark green to light green. Since we want this effect along the z-axis, add a separate XYZ node. Before that, add texture coordinate and mapping nodes and set the coordinate type to generated. You can adjust the color transition by moving the color stops. Finally, add a translucent shader and combine it using an Add Shader node. Choose a green color. The translucent shader allows light to pass through the surface slightly, which helps the grass look softer and more natural. Now select the land object and add a simple material for the ground. Next, select the lake object and add a glass shader for the water surface. Set the IOR value to 1.333, which is the index of refraction for water. You can also give the water a very light bluish color. At the moment, the lake surface looks too reflective, almost like a mirror. In reality, wind slightly disturbs the water surface. To simulate this, add a bump node to the normal input of the shader. Connect a wave texture node to the height input of the bump node. Increase the scale value to make the effect more visible and set the band's direction to Y. This creates a subtle wave pattern on the water surface. If you want stronger waves, increase the strength value of the bump node. Also, increase the distortion value to give some randomness. However, the water should also move when the wind blows. To animate the waves, add texture coordinate and mapping nodes before the wave texture. Then add a driver to the location X and Y values in the mapping node by typing sharp frame. This shifts the wave pattern over time and creates a moving water surface. Finally, before rendering, you can increase the number of grass instances in the Geometry Nodes editor to make the scene denser and more detailed. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next tutorial.